Hello and welcome to your own channel. Let's talk business once again. I'm Ravi and let's start talking business. So as you know, I'm covering Future Lloyd's Stroke Blueprint 2 in this series. The entire Blueprint 2 services are divided into three broad categories: transactional services, full digital adaptation, and additional services. In this series, we are covering full digital adaptation and all the 8 services within this category, full digital adaptation category. All right. So far, we have covered CDR, very important and interesting topic. And in today's conversation, we will discuss about IMRC version 3. So let's go ahead. But before getting into the IMRC version 3, we need to understand what is IMRC. So in London market, risks are placed using a standard document, the MRC or Market Reform Contract. Introduced in mid-2000s, the MRC described the risk and related contractual, regulatory, and administrative information in a standard format. So basically, the MRC is a document which presents the information in a standard format. So there are three critical roles of MRC. So it is a document which broker creates that summarize their client risk information into a standard format to present to the underwriter so that they can evaluate the risk. The second important use of MRC is it's a document where the underwriter formally indicate their return line. So it also holds the subscription information. The third important, very important role of MRC is the MRC is sometimes also used as a copy of insurance contract or evidence of insurance contract by broker, all right, which they send it to their customer. So the very important document in the business process. As I said earlier, there are very clear benefit of having MRC. For the insurer, obviously it provides the standard document to file all the relevant information organized in a logical sequence. MRC help to perform other process like creation of contract, processing the risk into the system and documentation very easy. And additionally, MRC also help to comply with contract certainty. The entire MRC is divided into 6 sections: risk detail, information, security detail, subscription agreement, physical and regulatory, and broker remuneration and deduction. So risk detail, as the name itself suggests, hold the risk information, which is like insured information, coverage information, type of insurance information, and those conditions which governs the entire insurance contract. Information section is basically a free text which provide additional information about the risk. Security detail include the insurer liability, the basis of return line, the basis of signed line, signing provisional, stamp information, and all sort of information which is required to demonstrate clearly the syndicate subscription or company subscription into that particular risk. The subscription agreement is the section which establishes the rule to be followed for processing and administration of post-placement amendment and transaction on the contract. Physical and regulatory information, as the name suggests, hold the physical and regulatory specific information which is helpful in terms of reporting to various regulators. Broker remuneration and deduction hold the information about the broker commissions and the various deduction applicable into the contract. So this is the optional section of the MRC which is generally not exposed to the customer. So there are 3 versions of MRC: open market MRC, line slip MRC, and binder MRC. So the open market is basically a setup where broker create the MRC and take the MRC into various syndicate individually if he or she is placing the risk within the Lloyd's individually, case by case basis. So the format of that MRC is slightly different from the line slip and binder. Now, the MRC for line slip is slightly different, but before that, you have to understand what is a line slip. So line slip is basically a setup where brokers set up an agreement with a couple of syndicates to place the risk. And when he is placing the risk, the format of MRC that broker is using is slightly different from open market. Finally, the binder MRC is slightly different from open market as well, because binder MRC is also represent the delegate authority business. So binder, in a way, right, is a ways to delegate your authority to someone else to write business on your behalf. And binder is the document which actually hold all the information about the delegation, right? So that MRC is slightly different from the open MRC. Now, all the sections in these MRCs are almost common except this risk detail. So the risk detail is there in the open market MRC because this makes sense, because broker is placing the risk individually to all the syndicates, whereas the risk information for line slip and binder is replaced by the delegate authority information. So I will put a link over here. You click there and you can get to know about what is line slip, what is binder, and all those facility business. Let's move ahead. Now we understand that MRC is very, very important document. So it is very important to understand what kind of a role this document is going to play under the new digital world, which we are conceptualizing under the FAL stroke Blueprint 2. So the question arises is why we are touching MRC. So now the MRC is called as a MRC version 3. So obviously we are changing something. Previously, the MRC within this FAL program was called as IMRC or Intelligent MRC, but they recently changed to MRC version 3, which I like personally. And it is governed by the LNG Data Council PRR working group, which is Process, Role and Responsibility Working Group, fairly new working group. But in the nutshell, right, if you know, the MRC version 3 will provide a lot of transformational benefit in distribution, customer experience and underwriting and back office processing by ensuring and facilitating the digital exchange of data, which will help to manage the entire risk lifecycle digitally. So let's see these 4 points, these 4 important points. Efficient and intelligent digital processing, improved customer satisfaction, reduced data entry through automation and data reuse, and efficient claim handling. So let's talk about the first point. The efficient and intelligent digital placement process and data reuse. This will be achieved by capturing the minimum amount of structured data at the point of bind, and that data will be reused by all the participants in the process. And this will help to reduce the need of rekeying the data by various participants. It will also help to improve the data quality because now you are reusing the data again and again instead of rekeying the data. The second important point is improved customer satisfaction. As I said earlier, having a clean and validated data will help to reduce the number of errors and therefore the number of queries to the customer. Due to the current manual process around the risk placement, a large number of contracts are currently having a lot of error. I myself saw the way the XIS guys are actually pulling out the information from these documents and keying this information into a lists and posts. A lot of manual work, and where you have a manual work, you got a lot of errors as well. And who is going to pay for all this labor intensive work? The client. The client are ultimately paying for the high manual cost or transacting business in London market, and also they are facing delays in terms of having the policy on time or having the claim settled on time, and there are a lot of dissatisfaction. That's the reason, right? Sometimes London market struggle to hold their position as the market leader. The third important point is reduce manual data entry through automation. Extracting the data from contract is currently labor intensive. As I said earlier, I myself saw the way XIS guys are taking information out from this MRC and putting into the lists and POS system. Very, very manual intensive work and therefore expensive and very time consuming. Enabling the contract to be accurately read by machine will enable the automation benefits. The fourth and the last point, but very important point, is related to the efficient claim handling. So if you are having the right information at the first time, which means that if you are having a structured customer information and risk data, then that will help to enable the intelligent triaging of claim, no need to have a manual oversight, and that will reduce the cost of managing the claim and improve the overall customer satisfaction. So it's very important to have the right information into the MRC, which can be easily extracted by the machine and presented to the technician for the better claim handling. Or if not to the technician, then automatically triage processes. So what happened last year, LMG Data Council requested the feedback on the current and the proposed changes in the MRC. The consultation was over, I guess, somewhere in September last year. They got 2,577 comments from 66 organizations, and those comments was really important because those comments are actually paving the way to have a MRC which is very much aligned to CDR and Accord. Because at the end of the day, what you are trying to achieve is the common data standard within the market and across the market. So it is very important to understand what market is saying and adapt the changes in a way that those changes are absolutely aligned with CDR and Accord. All right. Moving ahead, many people, they ask me, what is the relation between the MRC version 3 and CDR version 3.2? Look, these both the documents or both the standards are going to get out very soon, within this quarter or within this month or within a couple of days. Right? This is what is expected. But here are the three important points to understand. MRC version 3 include the primary CDR field that are required at the point of bind. All right. The primary CDR field that are required prior to settlement, not at the point of bind, are currently not included in MRC version 3. Those information like SOV or statement of value kind of information, right, which is like less than 20% of the overall business. So those type of information is currently not available in MRC version 3, but the team, the PRR team, is working to address those challenges. The third important point is any CDR field that can be derived from other field is also not part of MRC version 3, because there is no point of having the same information again. Ultimately, we are talking about the automation. Let's go ahead and see the timelines. Now, if you can see the timeline, as I said earlier, we are expecting to have the MRC version 3 and CDR version 3.2 within a couple of days. And what is going to happen, right? The two quarters, quarter 2 and quarter 3, will be available for the market to adopt the MRC version 3. So it is very important because during this process, they will adopt it, they will check their system, they will understand what are the changes and all those things. Very, very important. So the new version of the MRC version 3 will be released the end of this quarter along with CDR version 3.2. This means that the firm should start aligning their in-house system to accept the data which is Accord GLRC standard and MRC version 3 standard and EPI ready standards. So there are a lot of work which organization need to do in order to accept the changes which is coming under the MRC version 3. That's all from today's video presentation. This is the news or development in transition. So whenever something new happen in this area, I will bring more videos. So stay tuned. Goodbye and take very good care of yourself. Bye-bye.